All of you can relate where you go into your refrigerator and you're just so uninspired. You're like, I need to eat, I want it to taste good, but I don't have time to think about what to cook. I just want to be able to make sure it tastes absolutely delicious and know that it's going to be really good for me. My name is Jill and I am a foodie. So based on my experience of really studying what is it that the best chefs do in the world and how can me, someone who has zero cooking skills, be able to make my version of an absolutely amazing, delicious, memorable meal at home. So I call this the Elevated Essentials Method. And there's really 3 key components to it. So the first is the actual source of the ingredients. This is by far what chefs, restaurants spend so much time thinking about. If you ask any chef, they are really going to spend a lot of time looking for the perfect ingredients, because without amazing ingredients, you really can only get so far in making an amazing meal. Unfortunately, the grocery store is not where the best of the best go to get those ingredients. You can make an okay meal for yourself at home, but if you want a truly outstanding, memorable experience, you have to do some extra work in order to be able to get those ingredients. So one is probably your farmer's market or going to a farm, but not just any farm, because not all small farms and not all farms really are the same. So you want to look for what are farms that are going to prioritize soil health. The healthier the soil, the more nutrient dense the vegetables, the meats, whatever it is that you're actually getting, that's going to be on your plate. And also that's where the flavor is, which is another thing that I used to not really understand. I used to think that if it tasted really good, that meant it's not really good for you. And if it's really good for you, it didn't taste good. But that's actually not the case. Nutrition is actually a signal that it's going to taste really good, and that was just something that is believed to be a mechanism for us to be able to know what nutrients we should eat. You need to look for the farming practices as no pesticides, no glyphosate, because that's what's going to be best for your health. You don't want those gut issues or even just cancer from long-term exposure. Then, how is it actually being able to prioritize soil health? Are they doing a crop rotation? Are they having animals that are able to provide manure that then are able to fertilize the soil? Maybe they're using cover crops. These are all questions that you should be able to ask the farmer, whether at the farmer's market or you're buying directly from the farm. On their website, these are things that they should explain, especially since the term regenerative has become this massive buzzword. And it's not a singular definition, which means that you need to do your homework to find out what are they actually doing versus are they just hopping on this bandwagon of trying to greenwash you into thinking that they're a lot better than they are. So the next is actually being able to put the meal together. So I love being able to curate based off of texture, colors, and different food groups for just my overall health. So I'll get some carbs, protein, fat is my favorite food group, so that's never an issue for me. But being able to curate all of those together, especially when they're all different colors, it just makes it visually appealing, and you're just going to get more nutrients as well when you curate different food groups. So I love getting maybe like roasting a vegetable like purple cauliflower, for example, or maybe a broccoli, or maybe I'll saute a Swiss chard, and then I'll have that with like a chicken breast or a steak. Now, the last step in the Elevated Essentials Method sounds so basic, but it is a huge difference in whether it is that you are going to really enjoy this meal and have a memorable experience versus you're going to just kind of eat your way through it and not really remember if this was really a meal that you absolutely loved. And it's really about savoring the meal, really taking in the senses, taking in the smell, looking at the textures, admiring the colors of it. When you taste it, Do you taste buttery? What's the texture of it? Is there moisture? The more you learn to actually be able to savor every moment of your meal, the more that even those weekday meals, maybe you're at work, maybe you're at home at dinner and you've had a long day, you can create a memorable, magical, absolutely delicious moment, a delicious meal without having to go to a restaurant all the time, because I know you don't have time to do that, and have a more nourishing, just truly delicious meal.